Hey everyone, my name is Lottie Hampton. I'm a marine biology and aquaculture student here at University of Unity Environmental. My work connects with both science and sustainability, and I'm passionate about helping communities understand the environmental changes and effects there are daily in their lives. Welcome to my training module, communing with interesting and affected parties on climate change in coastal North Carolina. The purpose of this training video is to show how we can use different communication strategies, visual podcasts, storyboards, and presentations to connect with a wide range of audiences. Climate change affects us all, but not everyone understands in the same way. Our role as professionals is to break down the complex information and make it clear, relatable, and meaningful to the people we serve. This training module is organized into 5 communication pieces: a key fact and priorities infographic, an IAP audience map, an educational podcast episode, a narrative storyboard, a video concept, and this here, the training module lecture. Each piece highlights a different way of reaching people. For example, some of the audiences prefer quick facts and a glance, which I think that's me. While others connect more with conversation and storytelling together. These tools create a complete communication toolkit that future professionals like you and myself can adapt to with our own environmental work. The first piece in the infographic, the tools for the broad audience, homeowners, small business owners, and policymakers who need quick, digestible information that highlights urgent priorities facing our coast: sea level rise, repeated flooding, increased hurricane damage, and higher cost living, including homeowners insurance. The purpose of this piece is to spread awareness in a way that's accessible. Many people don't have time or the interest in reading a long scientific report. Infographics make the information clear, visual, and easy to share. The medium is visual, which makes it impactful, but it can oversimplify data if not paired with the more details based on peer feedback. I added clear labeling of projections like sea level expected to rise 10-14 inches by 2050 to make sure the data was precise and not misleading. The second piece in the audience map identifies the groups we need to engage: fishermen, farmers, NCDOT, local leaders, homeowners, and emergency responders. Each group has different levels of interest and influence when it comes to the climate resilience. The challenge this tool responds to is that the communication often only focuses on the loudest voices, like policymakers, while smaller but essential groups like fishing families or local farmers may get left out. This map ensures all the perspectives are considered. The medium is visual and analytical. It's quick in a way to see power, the interest levels, but it has to be updated regularly because relationships and priorities shift over time. After feedback, I revised my map to make a clear distinction between primary decision makers and secondary stakeholders so outreach strategies can be better prioritized. The purpose was to make climate change personal and relatable instead of just relying on statistics. I used storytelling like perspectives of coastal residents who insurance costs doubled after repeated flooding to help listeners feel the human side of climate impact. The podcast medium is oral and conversational, which builds emotional connections, but it does have a limit to its limits. So providing transcripts ensures accessibility from peer feedback. I reworked the introduction, I hope, with a strong hook. A story about floods rose in a storm which grabbed attention right away. I also broke the content into a shorter, digestible segment so it felt more dynamic. The fourth piece in this narrative storyboard, the story follows a fisherman noticing smaller catches each season. His family has lived by the coast for generations, and the sea has always been their lifeline. By personifying the seas as an old friend that grows weaker, the story created empathy and frames the issues in human terms. The purpose of this piece is to move people emotionally. The data is important but rarely motivates action by itself. Stories build connection, helps audiences and sees themselves in narratives. The medium is a visual storytelling which works well in preparation for video campaigns. Its strengths is that it makes issues come alive, but its limitations is that it relies heavily on execution. After reviewing feedback, I simplified the story to focus on the main character and his family. The change made the story more relatable for local fishing communities while keeping the climate message very clear. The lecture video here, the purpose is to tie everything that I've done already together and other components and give you as the trainees a full overview of how much format can be used in the real world communication. Video combines voice, visuals, and structures all in one place. It's powerful because it feels direct and personal, but it requires pacing, clarity, and practice to avoid becoming monotonous. For the final step, I focused on smooth transitions between each pace and kept the conclusion centered on an overreaching goal that rather repeating every detail, it becomes more personal, requiring pacing clarity. Wrapping everything up, I want to leave you guys with 3 key takeaways. One is to use multiple communication modes together. Infographics, podcasts, stories, each have strengths. When we use them in a combination, they reinforce each other. Tailor communication to the audience. Fishermen, homeowners, and policymakers don't all need the same message. Adjusting your approach is a way of communication that can make things more effective. And last is to build trust, not just answers that people just want to hear, but something that can bring more awareness. Facts are important, but trust, inclusivity, and long-term relationships are what we want to build, and they move people in action. Thank you.